So everyone talks about the importance of customer interviews and understanding your business, your client's business deeply, or if you're doing it yourself, obviously understanding your own business deeply, if that sort of makes sense. But anyway, sometimes appreciate that might not be enough for you. That might not always be possible, especially if you're maybe early stage and you don't have enough customers to talk with or whatsoever. So I've done this before and I wanted to do it in real time, whereby we create a persona inside of GPT, and then we can ask questions and we can really get into the midst of different points, and actually referring back to a video, and I'll probably mention in the comments, a video that Mohan put together, I think last week or week before, which is, lots of people are talking about, around pain versus problems. So just taking that mindset into it as well, and just seeing if we can create a persona, and then utilizing therefore AI to give us new ideas and ways of thinking that will help us with our messaging. So let's get straight into it. Let me make myself smaller here. So let me do this. Okay, let's go. Hey GPT, I would like you to take on the persona of a founder, of an SME. Let's say you're based in the States. You are in the technology industry, and say you are the founder. Maybe you're a team of 16, and you have recently raised a Series A, and I'm happy for you in terms of the business that you've got, for you to come up with your own idea and what you're doing and you're selling, but just the general sort of gist of the idea. And I really want you to take on that persona completely, as in your age. You're going to be between, let's say you're going to be sort of in your late 20s. You don't have a family yet. You are traveling into work. Let's say you're in San Fran, and you have, or from what you've identified product market fit, but you obviously are now thinking about sort of scale and growth, especially with the investment. You don't necessarily have sort of sales process, etc., in place. And I want you to really encompass and take on this persona completely. And the objective, and the reason I'm getting you to do that, is because then I want to interview you. I want to actually ask you questions from your perspective that's going to help me, for my business, understand your pain from an organization level and your problems as a human being, individual founder, that I can then test and touch upon when I'm outreaching and doing messaging, to try and convince you to consider working with my business that specializes in developing modern outbound systems using advanced AI, etc. Ultimately, to book consistent, qualified meetings in your diary. So I want you to take all of this in, and then I want you to just respond and say, okay. Please take your time, take a deep breath, and give it your best shot. I mean, I'm just purely from a example point of view. I'm doing, I'm sort of doing this, but the idea is you can really go into. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Let me stop the dictation thing. Yeah. The idea, you can go into even more. So if you're, whatever business you're in, you're specifically around hospitality, you might do something there. If you're going to another industry, but I think a lot of people say you can't use AI, and although I do agree to an extent, AI works well if the input is good. And that's why I also personally, I never type in GPT. I just don't, because if I type that, it would have probably been this long. Well, considering the video, probably been this long, because I don't want to waste your time. I'm on the spot, and even when you type, I think I can't remember who told me, but I think it's like when you type versus speak. When you type, I think you only put in about quarter of the content. So if the content and context is less, your output is going to be less. So I always say create a persona, and then if you really like this persona, you could actually use or turn this into a prompt and then create your own GPT, and then you've got a prompt that's sitting there all the time, and then you can go and ask questions. So let's see, very cool. Ryan Porter, founder of sales, supply chain, 3 years ago to Singapore, first broken supply chain management, engineering heavy, CTO, recently bought a first, okay, first sales hire and a fractional CMO, handful of customers, churners are where no, there's a demand or there's an organic up to this point. Great, okay. So challenges, personal challenges, overwhelmed, pressure to scale, dealer growth, stuck doing too many things myself. I worry we're not moving fast enough. So again, these are the things that we can start to test, right? So what we can do from here is let's go. Hey Ryan, thanks for your time. I've written read up a little bit about your history, and congratulations what you've done with Scaleform. I mean, incredible with your Series A, and I appreciate some of the challenges you've got regarding trying to get to 5 million ARR to even think about sort of raising Series B. So I suppose. I suppose really, I know you've probably touched about some of this, but what would be really interesting for me is to sort of understand you know there's always two parts of the coin here. One part is obviously at an organization level, making investors happy, doing all of this. You want to sort of have that, but then from a individual point of view, like the problems, and I know you've talked about sort of burnout, etc. But when you think about sort of scale and growth and all of that comes with it, what would be really helpful is in a table format. If you can sort of look at highlight the pain from an organizational point of view, a problem at an individual point of view, and then also, maybe what solution you're looking for. What would be if you had a magic wand that would allow you to go from A to B to help you get that 5 million ARR, or if a company was to reach out to you, what are the sort of things that you're expecting them to talk about and say from a solution point of view that makes you think, okay, I'm gonna really take this into consideration. Now, as I said at the start of this video, I mean, I'm doing this sort of in real time, so I haven't planned this. I'm really going through the process, but I just want to again highlight and showcase the importance um, of creating sort of the persona and then treating it like in that sort of a like for like conversation, because the type of information that's available is really, really, really great. So let's have a look here. So lack of predictor referrals, a consistent, scalable outbound strategy, clear persona-driven message resonates with key, a refined quality that shortens the sales cycle, an outbound playbook service that might reduces my involvement in. I'm assuming there's some text missing from here. That involvement in day-to-day sales, key maker, decision makers, yeah, a reliable partner to handle outbound efforts and help us grow without feeling like we're spamming. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So these are now sort of touch points that okay, everyone is going to talk about. Oh, how are you managing? Either you refer the Series A, the growth, the prediction of, or what are you doing to generate sort of predictable sales? But understanding as a founder, or we speak to a lot of founders who talk about burnout because they're so focused on growth, but they don't have the necessary process. Do you understand how all of a sudden your messaging starts to feel so much more personalized to them without it actually being really personalized to them, if that makes sense? Feeling overwhelmed, struggling to balance time between vision and sales, lack of confidence in outbound strategies, and fear of damaging the brand. That's such a common thing that we hear so much from people that we talk to. So this is just to give you an idea of how you can then take something like this and you can start to see and what's the solution, and then therefore now you can start to test technically the problem at a pain problem solution. You can start to test it accordingly. So I hope this has been useful, and it's something I highly recommend. As I said, especially for those who might not have the opportunity to speak with clients. But as I say, if you're doing this at a persona level per type of company or an industry or something, that on ChatGPT can, I mean, this whole scale form, Ryan, whatever the person's name, it's really really solid. So put the quality in, get the quality out. Hope this helps. Cheers.